Hey guys, welcome back to Senegalese Twisted. I'm back again with another review for Maîtresse d'un homme marié. Today I'm going to talk about episode 13, and this episode you can actually feel a lot of tension, a lot of things that are happening, and I'm gladly going to talk about it. Episode 13 starts with Lala getting physiotherapy, and they basically just talk about what kind of treatment she needs to do. Then there's an unusual scene where Mère Diagne is sitting down with Biram and she's actually telling him how proud she is of him. She admits that she was a bit nasty, but that if he would have talked about what he was doing, like behind the scenes with Cheikh and the lawyer, that she would not have, assumed that he wasn't interested. She also says that she wants Biram to know that she does not hate him, that, she loves her children, both of them. And of course Biram is like, yeah, I know, mom, and I want you to know that I am very thankful of you because you raised us really well. However, I am not good with expressing myself and talking about, what I'm feeling. Then Mère Diagne is just, saying that she is asking or praying to God that Cheikh will get out of prison soon, and Biram tells her that he will get out soon. Of course, Mère Diagne is in shock. Then Biram explains about Dalanda and Regina, the opposing lawyers, actually being longtime friends, and that they are working on a mediation to get Cheikh out of prison. But then Biram tries to talk about Jalika, that he put her and the kids in a house, and then Mère Diagne basically loses it because she's like, yeah, and this is why you and I will never be on the same page, because you never consult me and you always tell me, like, with an afterthought. However, she does express that it's not about him taking care of the kids, because that's what his dad would have done for his children as well. And I think that she just doesn't like that Biram took this big of a decision without consulting her. And she has to bring up the fact that Biram needs to remember that whatever relationship Jalika and Biram had before, that is all over, which was not the point. The icing on the cake is when Amsa comes in to talk to Mère Diagne about her going to the market. Of course, Biram is like already attacked, and he's like, what the hell is she doing here? And because Amsa is announcing that she's going to the market, it means that she's going to prepare lunch. And at one point, Biram is asking his mom, like, have you forgotten everything you've been going through with MARIEME and Amsa? And how do you trust to eat her food? And even Amsa is telling Biram that an adult that has no wife is still a child, meaning Biram. And to put even more salt in the wound, Mère Diagne is like telling Biram that, hey, don't forget, she is your cousin. And that from today on, he should take her or see her as a cousin. Then we have a scene between Regina and Lala. And Regina is asking about her hand, and she's telling Regina that she has to do some physiotherapy, she has to get a massage. Then Regina tells her that she came here to ask Lala for a favor. However, Lala is like, a favor? Do you dare ask me for a favor? Because the last time I asked you for a favor to, get rid of the complaint against Cheikh, but you could not even help me. And Regina explains that then it was different because the prosecutor had enough to actually prosecute Cheikh. However, today it's different because she and the other lawyer, Dalanda, they are working to have a mediation in order to get Cheikh out of prison. However, that is not the reason she asked Lala here. So Lala turns around and asks her, okay, so what do you want? And Regina explains that it's about Bakary Sagna. Lala tells her that she hopes that she will, you know, prosecute the murderers of Bakary Sagna and to make sure that they rot in prison. Regina also expresses that she wants Lala to actually talk about the case on her television program, and Lala tells her that she cannot help her. She tells Regina that, you know, you like to, you know, fight, then you can fight this one on your own. However, then Regina actually basically pleads because she's bringing in the show, explaining to Lala that, you know, you are a woman and I am a woman asking you because your platform is one that fights or stand-ups for women as well, and I only came here because I knew you would be able to help me. And then she explains that the victim, Bakary Sagna, was killed by a woman, but that woman, Racky, was actually raped in her throughout her whole childhood, and even on her wedding day she was basically almost raped by Bakary Sagna. And this is where Lala changes, and she is telling Regina to give her all the details on the case and that she will do her best to see how she can help. Then we're back at Mère Diagne, and this time she's in the kitchen with Amsa, and they're basically just teasing because Mère Diagne is telling Amsa that, you know, she seems to be like someone who can actually cook. And of course, Amsa tells her that yes, if you want to know whether I can cook, ask Pagay. And of course, then Mère Diagne also teases a bit because she's like, no, Pagay, he only eats my food. And that's just, you know, a little banter between them. And at one point, Pagay even teases back and he's like, you know, Mère Diagne, you should give Amsa your secret. And Mère Diagne is like, no, I will not give her my secret, but I will give her a piece of my secret and then keep the rest for myself. And at one point, it gets a little bit more serious as Amsa is telling Mère Diagne that she did not know that Mère Diagne's heart was so beautiful, and that she used to be, you know, childish, and that she has a lot of regrets. It's a beautiful moment between Amsa and Mère Diagne, and Mère Diagne is even a bit, you know, taken aback by that because she's like, oh, did you really say that? And Amsa's like, yes, because, you know, if it wasn't for you, I would not even woken up today and be busy about cooking and everything. And Mère Diagne gives her like this little advice that a woman should wake up early, do her prayers, work in the house and start cooking. And she also says that this is also a preparation for her whenever she will get a husband. Then she talks about how she never had a daughter, but she would always want one. From today on, that Amsa will be the eldest daughter in her household. Then Amsa tells Mère Diagne to go sit with Pagay and she will finish the cooking, which is quite sweet. However, what I want to know is Amsa now a replacement for Lala PM Diagne? Then there's another touching scene where Racky's mom is actually asking Racky for forgiveness. But in doing so, she is saying that, yeah, and you should not follow Mustafa because that's why you're in this situation. And then Racky tells her mom that she is the one who killed Bakary Sagna. And then she also explains that when she was a child that he used to rape her, and that even on the wedding day, that's what he wanted to do. However, she does stand up for Mustafa. She's saying to her mom that because of what happened in my youth with Bakary Sagna, I used to want to kill every man. And you know that I never brought a man home. That was until I met Mustafa, because he is good. He has pity on me and he really loves me. Then there is a reunion between Jalika and her mom, finally. And her mom is telling her that she knew that Jalika would eventually come back and realize that her mom was right. She also tells Jalika that this is an opportunity for her to actually take care of the kids, because the kids is everything she has right now that she can actually focus on. And what Jalika has to say in this scene is that she is the type of person that if she has tried everything but it didn't succeed, that she's the type of person that would come back and actually admit to her faults, and that's why they are here. She also tells her mom that, you know, her mom means a lot to her, and even the kids have been asking about her, and the mom teases her and tells her that that's okay. I know that you live in mommy's house and I don't mind that. You can still live there if you want, but I want to see my babies. And then she explains to her mom that actually Biram put us in a house, and the mom is actually in shock, and she tells her that it's not what it used to be, and we all know how Biram used to be before. And one other thing that the mom tells Jalika in this scene is about takasuf, that this is Senegal, and even if as the woman who actually accepted the takasuf, that it's not easy, because people will talk and eventually the other woman will know about the takasuf. However, Jalika's mom expresses that she is going to be here for Jalika. She is going to support her in any way she can. Then there's a scene between Racky and Regina. And Regina is at Racky's hospital bed. However, she's facing her back. And what Regina says to Racky is that she is sorry for everything that she has been going through, about her youth and her sexual abuse by Bakary Sagna. She's also saying that it must have been hard for her because there was nobody there for her to defend her, and that the other lawyer, Amidou, was the person who told her about this, and that she decided to defend Racky. She also says that they are going to do everything to get her out of this situation. However, Racky's like, yes, but there's no solution, there's no way out because I made a big mistake. And Regina acknowledges that. She's like, yes, you made a very big mistake, however you were pushed to make the mistakes that you did. She also emphasizes that there was nobody to talk about before while she was going through this as a child. However, today she will be able to tell her story, to have people support her and actually wanting to defend her. She's also telling Racky to, you know, keep the hope and that she will leave but she will come back, and Racky tells her thanks. Then you have Mbène and Dalanda. And what's funny about this is that in this scene you can see that Mbène is a bit riled up because she's expressing to Dalanda that she needs to get her priorities straight. Apparently there was some nights where Dalanda was not at home. Mbène is actually worried about this, and she's telling Dalanda to actually prioritize, you know, her husband over her work instead of what she's doing, where she's basically leaving her husband and working. Dalanda tries to explain that she has been working on two very complicated cases, one of Cheikh Diagne and the other one of Racky and Mustafa. Mbène does not want to understand this, and she's even talking about how the difference between Dalanda and Jalika is that Jalika is, you know, Senegalese woman and she knows how to keep her man. And Mbène is also telling Dalanda about all the efforts that she put in to, you know, continue have this marriage continue. And I think that Dalanda is like looking at Mbène funny because she's like, what is she on about? Why is she more concerned about this than I am? And I think that it's a bit complicated because of course Mbène is a typical Senegalese woman and she would not understand why a woman would, you know, prioritize her work over her husband. Although I don't even think that Dalanda is prioritizing her work over her husband. I think she's just a modern woman that knows the importance of working. So I think this scene was only put here because it was like a wake-up call for Dalanda to remember that she is still married and that things may still be rocky. Then we're back with Jalika and Biram, and Jalika is just telling Biram about how she has noticed that he has been a lot more mature. Biram is telling her that lately he has been asking himself a lot of questions about family, about his life. He's actually telling her that, you know what, if I would not have been a bad husband to you, like, would we still be together? Like, stuff like that. He's also thinking out loud about, you know, what happened to Cheikh, because Cheikh lost Lala and his kids, and he asks himself a lot of questions. Of course, Jalika is like, yeah, I'm happy that you finally, you know, understand, and I hope that you can use all this to make Mansoura happy. And then Biram is like looking at her funny, and eventually Biram says, yeah, and what about you? And Jalika tells him that she basically exiled Tairu out of her life, and that since she moved into this house, that she has not spoken to him. However, my life is my life, and I cannot give you permission to ask me questions about it. She gets defensive. And Biram makes this joke of like, yeah, but everyone who looks at Tairu's face knows that he is not the type of man who can manage two households. Then they laugh and they kind of get flirtatious. In a previous scene, you could actually see that Noura fainted. Then you see that Fily actually comes into the house and takes care of Noura a bit. Lala comes in and she attacks Fily from the get-go. Of course, Fily is like, if I wasn't here, we would not have known what would have happened to your child. But I actually came here because I wanted to talk to you about Cheikh. Fily explains to Lala that she went to prison and that the only way out for Cheikh is mediation. Of course, Fily is also telling Lala to talk to her lawyer because this is very hard on the kids. She actually takes Noura's example and she questions Lala about what if Cheikh would be taken away to another prison that is maybe further away. Like, what effect would that have on Noura? Then Lala is like, Fily, you know me well. I am not a mean person. I am not a bad person. I have been basically forced into this. My heartache is what got me into this position. She also explains to Fily that she did 3 things. The first thing was go to Cheikh's mom and ask for forgiveness. The second thing was call her lawyer to make sure that the police report or the case against Cheikh would be dismissed or, you know, taken back. The last resort was actually seeing Cheikh in his office. However, Cheikh was the one who humiliated me, and he did not want to listen. And then Fily's like, and that's the problem. You should not have gone to him or, you know, walked after him. And she's actually telling Lala that, you know what, even if he, you know, calls you names in front of the prosecution, you should always keep your cool. She also tells Lala to think of the kids. Lala then tells Fily that she is not going to make a promise. However, she is going to see what's best for the kids and she's going to sleep about it. A lawyer at Jalika's mom's house, and he's actually explaining that the case is a bit complicated because there are 2 amazing lawyers who are going to defend Racky and Mustafa. And he knows that these lawyers are going to make it into a media spectacle. Hint, hint, Lala and Regina. However, there's a catch because the lawyer brings some new tea to Jalika's mom, and he's saying that one of the defendants was a victim of Bakary Sagna, and since she was 5 years old, she was raped by Mr. Sagna. Is this something that he could have done? Of course, Jalika's mom is in shock. However, she's saying to the lawyer that, you know, if all this is coming out, maybe we should just bury this case, let it be, and just not touch it anymore. Of course, the lawyer's like, well, that is going to be hard. And then Jalika's mom is like, oh no, because Jalika's life will be ruined and I will lose my daughter forever. That was it for Maîtresse d'un homme marié. I just want to know, why would Jalika's mom actually lose Jalika forever if this is something her dad did? Like, is there something else to the story? Because I want to know. Also, I think that Biram may look like he is mature now. However, I think that he will show his other face in the next episode. Until the next episode, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If I may have forgotten something to put in the review, you can read it in the comments. See you guys in my next episode.